The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Friday in the Rib.
Oh no. Not Friday already.
Yep, Friday already.
Another week gone by. Well, let me just give you the counts from yesterday.
Absolutely.
685 confirmed positives in Fall River with 3 more fatalities, bringing the total deaths to 11. The Bristol County count is 4,529, and statewide we have 73,721. So our numbers are still going up. I'm not sure if that means we're coming to the peak or if we're going to be going higher. That's a big question a lot of people are asking. And it's a serious question to ask.
Yeah, well, obviously the deaths, 3 additional deaths, that's really unfortunate. But, let's face it, these numbers they're really, as we've said time and time again, you really can't, sometimes it's almost, you can't be surprised, because the problem is that what we're finding now is with more testing, we're finding out a lot of the undiagnosed people. So it's not really an increase. Those people, if we would have tested them maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, those numbers would have been, the only way we could actually get an accurate number is if they tested every single person, and that was the baseline number. And realistically, but the thing is that the sad part is the fatalities. And of course, with the controversy going on in New York State with Cuomo ordering infected patients back into the nursing homes, which houses the most sensitive population. That's a major topic today in the news. Well, at least in the real news. Of course, the liberal left-wing news doesn't want to publicize anything that's anti-liberal Democrat. So.
Well, the thing about we're talking about testing. It's just been announced by Rite-Aid that Fall River's Stafford Rd store, that's a Stafford Rd in Plymouth Avenue, is going to have drive-through testing starting Monday. And you don't have to be symptomatic. You just have to go to www.riteaid.com and set up an appointment, and away you go. And you can just drive through at Rite-Aid and be tested. So if you're interested in being tested for COVID-19 and you've been trying to get a test, now's your time. You can go to Rite-Aid on Monday, but make sure you make your appointment first at www.riteaid.com. That's RITEAID.com.
And let's make this clear, and I'm not sure of it because I wasn't aware of it. That's great information, CJ. Now, this is testing for the virus. It's not antibody testing.
Correct. It's just testing for the virus. And it's free. Nobody has to pay for it. You just have to make the appointment to do it.
Well, there's going to be a big line for that one. That's the best price of all.
Exactly. So, and it's not a fly-by-night organization. They have 3 different lab companies they're working with, and they're working with a clinical oversight company. So this isn't just some fly-by-night situation. It's not tests that aren't proven. So this is going to be interesting. Your test results will be reported back to the pharmacy. You need an ID showing who you are. You must be 18 years or older and have a valid ID, and you can get tested. So there's no excuse why you can't be tested if you want to get tested.
That's great. And while we're on positive information, like you get free testing, we'll give you some entertainment public service announcements. Our first actual sporting event since this thing began is going to be tomorrow night on ESPN, and it's ESPN Plus. But the first UFC card is going to be held tomorrow in Jacksonville, Florida. And it is going to, the prelims are going to be televised on ESPN from 8 to 10. For all you people who have ESPN, you'll be able to watch an actual live sporting event if you like combat sports. And the main card will be on pay-per-view, but they will, if you want to get it, they will explain to you how you can get it. But so that's kind of a turning point here. They've begun with an actual live sporting event. The judging is going to be done remotely. The announcers are going to be at separate tables. There's going to be no audience, as far as I know. And I guess the only people will be the fighters, their corners, and of course there'll be a referee. But so it's something. So hopefully sports will begin again. So all the people that are going bonkers in their houses will have something to watch besides reruns, and they won't be locking themselves in airplane bathrooms and have to be extricated by three Marines and because they were threatening everybody on the plane because people are going bananas.
Well, I know that they're also going bananas because the governor lifted some of the restrictions on golfing. So
yeah.
The golf courses are opening, and a lot of restrictions though. There really are a lot of restrictions. You can't have a golf cart. You can't rent equipment. You can't share equipment. Groups are limited to 4 players. There's 15 minutes between tee times. You can't reach in to the hole to take the ball out. There's some other way of doing it. The flags have to stay in place. There's all kinds of restrictions. It's almost like, why bother playing? But somebody who's a diehard golfer is probably going to want to play. Now, the golf club, the clubhouses can't be open. The facilities can't be open. The restaurants can't be open. The bars can't be open. None of those things can be open, which people go to a golf club for. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I believe, like you said, foursomes is the maximum they normally allow on a golf course anyway. But I mean, all those other things, and of course, when they're on a tee, they should have 6 feet between them. And I saw some video of people playing golf, but look, they're out in the fresh air. They finally got to do something. They can kill a couple hours on a golf course and not be watching reruns on the air. So, and speaking of alcohol, I believe, I'm not sure because I don't drink beer, but basically, really, if ever. And the VFW is holding a fundraiser on Bedford Street, a fundraiser that's selling fish and chips again and chorizo and chip sandwiches this evening, I believe from 2 to 7. And they are allowed, I think, you can purchase 3 beers from them, I think. There's some kind of, I'm not sure because it doesn't really apply to me. I'm totally disinterested. I don't need, to get a beer when I go down there, but to pick up. But they are running a fundraiser. They're selling fish and chips and chorizo and chip sandwiches. And I believe I thought it was April 3rd or something like that. That's when they would be able to sell you a beer with your fish and chips. Or
yes, they can sell alcohol out of the restaurant, out of the bar. It must be sealed, so they can't be mixing up cocktails and putting them in a paper cup for you to take with you. But beer, wine, those are okay. A lot of restaurants have the beer at like 3 bottles for $10 or something like that. You might do better to pick it up on your way home at the package store for $6 or $7 and get a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Now, how are those fish and chips? Because I know you've been buying them.
They're okay. Yeah, I mean, it's extremely cheap. It's more of a price. So people without big appetites, it's $7.50 for an order of fish and chips, which by today's standards is extremely cheap because, I mean, no matter where you go, they're like $12 and up.
Right.
$15 for an order of fish and chips. So for $7.50, but I mean, I won't make any bones about it. I'm always fairly truthful about what I am and who I am. So I'll admit I'm a pig. I go down there, I buy 2 orders. Oh, I don't get one. So I figure $7.50, $15 is what I'm paying for a regular order of fish and chips, and I get but the fish is good. It's if I had to compare it, it's the thicker batter. It's not like it's more like Rogers fish and chips than it is Chad's Chowder House fish and chips or LePage's fish and
Right.
chips. It's the thicker batter, the kind of old English batter, I believe they call it. I'm not sure, but not being a cook, I don't know. I'm an eater, not a cooker, so I just eat the stuff. So, and you're also supporting the VFW post. So let's support, our veterans. And so if you're in the mood for fish and chips, give it a shot. They didn't pay us for this commercial, and I have gone down there for like the past 3 or 4 weeks, and so it's okay. And while we're on veterans, I have to actually ask you. You and I had a conversation about a Memorial Day. I don't know what you were going to call it. What euphemism? Parade or procession?
They're calling it a rolling memorial.
And so now it was on, it was off, and now I read in today's Herald News headlines that it's on again.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've been making changes. They were supposed to collect at Kennedy Park. Then they were going to move it to Airport Road. I don't know where they're going to meet now. I'm not against it because it's Memorial Day. I'm against it because people are going to congregate. When the mayor did his thing with the Easter Bunny, I wasn't for that either. I mean, there were people on the fire trucks. There were people in the cars. I wasn't for it. I was driving down Oak Grove Avenue yesterday, and cars were lined up with people on the sidewalks, and they were blowing horns. I don't know if it was somebody's birthday in the nursing home or not. And I understand they want to help the person celebrate or whatever the case may be, but they were congregating on the sidewalk. There was more than 5 people in a group. Now, when the mayor did this on Wednesday night, he had pictures up of him at Charlton Memorial Hospital, and there were 2 fire engines there, I believe, and there were people congregating around the fort where Highland Avenue meets New Boston Road. And again, there were people congregating. Most people had masks. But again, how are we supposed to keep social distancing in place when even our mayor sometimes isn't doing it? And we know our governor isn't doing it. We saw that with the Massachusetts State Police graduation ceremony. They had it. No one was able to go. They had to do it because they needed more officers on the streets as soon as possible. And I saw the picture of them in Foxborough, in Gillette Stadium, and they were definitely apart on the field. But again, we see this all the time. People are not definitely 6 feet apart. And we saw that with the mayor and the new police chief in the Fall River room, the picture that was shown. That wasn't 6 feet apart, and neither one of them were wearing masks. So again, do as I say, not as I do, it seems to be, and we can't have that.
Well, that's the problem with these things. And look, Memorial Day, it brings up a lot of questions. On Memorial Day, I always go to check my father and mother's grave. My father was a World War II veteran, and I go to see, I go to make sure everything's, okay on Memorial Day, and I go there. I go there at other times too, but I mean, Memorial Day, I always make it a point. And you just brought up a question to me. I mean, I think on Memorial Day there will be a lot of people in the cemetery. So let's.
And again, there's another issue we're going to have. Are they going to keep social distancing in place?
Distancing in the cemetery, and I probably just got myself barred from the cemetery. I wanted to go visit my father's grave, but it is not. It brought up another thing when we start thinking about what's going on. think about that. And but these parades and stuff, look, of course they are, there's something that we should have. We should recognize, especially Memorial Day and Veterans Day and stuff like that. The people who served our country, but unfortunately, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And as you said, unfortunately, and I'm not blaming the people who, and they all say, you guys are, you're trying to rain on the parade, and it's going to help people. And well, you're right. Some people can feel a little better because they see something driving by their house. But you have to weigh that on what it does. And as you said, I think that the public in general, although most do, I think we've proven beyond the shadow of a doubt. We keep buffering. I don't know if they're losing the audio. We've proven.
No, the audio's on my end.
Yeah, we've proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that there were a lot of people in this country and in this city who just don't pay attention, and this is just an excuse for them to not pay attention.
Well,
and that's the problem.
And I think this rolling memorial is going to give people the opportunity to just congregate on the sidewalks to watch it go by. And I mean, it's not like it's following a parade route either. This is going to be driving throughout the city, and it's going to be spreading that stuff to go. And you can't, we really can't be having that. I called the mayor's office as soon as I found out this was going to happen. I said he's got to do something about it. I don't know if he has done anything about it. I don't know if he's going to put the kibosh on it. I don't know if he's going to let it go. I believe he's going to let it go because he's let everything else go. He's non-confrontational. But this is something that you need to be confrontational about, because those people are going to be congregating. He put the organizers of this event have put the call out for other organizations to come forward and be part of this mobile memorial. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is not maintaining social distancing. There is still a stay-at-home order in place. It's not like Rhode Island. You cannot be. They can cancel the Blessed Sacrament Feast. They can cancel the Great Feast of the Holy Ghost in Fall River. They can cancel baseball. They can cancel sporting events in the city. They can do all of these things, but they can't cancel the Memorial Day parade. I'm not trying to be negative about this, but let's be realistic. Let's be realistic at this point. If the governor lifts the stay-at-home order, and that's okay, then great, we're all set. But I don't think you're going to see a stay-at-home order just blanketly lifted. I think you're going to see it slowly lifted, and I think you're going to find that once that happens, it's still not going to be able to do things that you want to do. It's going to be slow and incremental that we're going to have our liberties reinstated.
Well, as you said, CJ, I don't. Even if the stay-at-home order is lifted, I don't believe the social distancing is going to be lifted.
No, that's going to be the new normal.
And everybody go out and get into a big mob and start dancing with each other. I don't, that's not going to happen. So, look, as far as the parade is concerned, as I said, I understand it. There are going to be different opinions. And I understand, the people who are putting it on are saying, well, some people will feel better. And I understand your point, and I tend to agree with your side that people have demonstrated that they can't follow directions.
Correct.
And the reality is that, you have to make, and I guess it's an individual decision. You have to make a decision of conscience to say, will this do more harm than good? Do we disagree with the parade? No, it's just like the school. We disagreed with the fact that we had to get a debt override and add more taxes to a beleaguered city when we knew we had the money to pay. Well, little did we know that we didn't have it, because guess what? Guess who does the books in Fall River?
Right.
You said we had the money, and then ultimately, after they approved the debt override, they admitted they had the money, and now we don't have the money. So maybe, maybe, I hate to say it, but maybe this was a conspiracy on their part because they knew all along we were going to have this deficit down the road. And when they get the debt override, they could implement it earlier. And I'm not saying that the mayor, when he was running point for the debt override in the school with the debt override, because we did not oppose the building of a school. But let's reiterate that and make it perfectly clear to the people that we are not opposed. We were not opposed to building the school. We were opposed to additional taxation. And so now it makes me think, being the conspiracy theorist that I am, maybe they actually did know it way back when. That they know we're running on fumes and we might be out of money, and they might have to take that 23 date and kick it closer to plug up holes. So there are a lot of questions, because I think over the last few days we've seen how corrupt government truly is on the federal level. We see the FBI, people lying about 53 people interviewed, and not one of them had any proof, and yet they went and lied. And as one senator said, it's amazing how congressmen, and we've always said they have diplomatic immunity, how a congressman can knowingly lie. If you lie to Congress, it's perjury. If Congress lies to you, it's politics.
True.
And that's what problems we have in the government, that nobody is held accountable, whether it's in Washington, D.C., or in the well of the city council in Fall River.
There's no question about any of that, and I have to agree with you. While we're on some of these things about businesses and opening up, as I said, the golf courses have been allowed to open. Now, the governor didn't order this, but the gun stores can now open. On Thursday, a federal judge temporarily lifted the closure on gun shops. U.S. District Court Judge Douglas Woodlock issued a preliminary injunction that goes into effect on noon Saturday. Governor Charlie Baker's administration will have until May 28th to decide if they want to fight the injunction. If not, the lawsuit will be dismissed. Woodlock said closing the gun shops while allowing businesses such as a liquor store to remain open was unconstitutional, according to Law 360 magazine. Also that have been allowed to open, and how convenient for it to be allowed to open limitedly, is florists. Florists have been given a major relief. Though they are not open to the traditional manner, Baker earlier this week allowed for non-essential businesses to have a small number of employees in store to fulfill phone and online orders. This is a huge break for florists, in particular, ahead of Mother's Day.
Well, I guess the florist lobby was pretty good, so they got to them, but that's another great debate. Should we have closed these buildings, closed these businesses completely? Should we have basically banned everything? Why didn't we allow, businesses to continue, all businesses to continue? If you can drive up to a restaurant and get a takeout order, why can't you drive up to a florist or order over the phone for a florist if you have a need for flowers or virtually anything else? I can understand when it's a direct service retailer, like you have to go into a beauty shop and a person's working on you. But even then, I'm a freedom guy. I'm a constitutionalist. I believe people should have the right to make decisions for themselves, because what we're facing here is we're not allowed to make the decisions. So where does that decision-making power get deferred to? It gets deferred to the most corrupt pile of clowns in the world, politicians. And we saw what Cuomo did. I wonder if Cuomo can be sued for negligent death by ordering COVID-19 patients back into nursing homes. How many people did Cuomo kill? They're always talking about Trump. How many people did Cuomo Cuomo kill in New York by mandating nursing homes had to take back infected patients.
Yeah. It's interesting because here in Massachusetts, we're trying to separate all these COVID patients. We're putting them into special nursing homes, which are only for COVID patients. We're putting them into special hospitals, which are only for COVID patients. We're creating special hospitals only for COVID patients. But in other states, they're doing it differently. And the other thing that we have to look at is tomorrow, Rhode Island is going to be opening up their economy limitedly, but they're still going to be opening their economy. So you have to start the clock tomorrow for 14 days and see, do their numbers go up? Do they go down, or do they flatten out? Because obviously, if the numbers go up, they open too soon. If the numbers flatten out, then they're fine. They're right where they should be. But if the numbers go down, then obviously there's doing more isolation isn't going to work. So we need to be aware of that, and we need to be waiting for that to happen on our end. So we have to watch those numbers closely when we finally decide we're going to open up limitedly.
Yeah, because listen, well, not me. I mean, I disagree, but the people have been intimidated into turning over virtually every decision that a free person can make over to the government. And we've seen how corrupt the government is. We know that these people are not motivated by anything except politics and self-interest. You know, we see this because if they were truly, let's carry this, and now we're saying, well, we can't give you any freedom because you might infect somebody, but we can infect people and we can destroy the economy. Yet, why hasn't government stopped cigarettes?
Yeah,
Cigarettes kill hundreds of thousands of people every year, and they are slowly killing millions.
But
they puff away, and yet they say public health hazard. There is no greater proven health hazard than cigarettes.
But remember,
did the government ban cigarettes? Not just tax them because they love money.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. You can't.
Coronavirus. If they could tax the coronavirus, we wouldn't be locked in our houses.
That's right. But the other thing is, in Massachusetts, you have to remember, come June, they're going to lose 50% of their cigarette market because all flavored and menthol cigarettes are off the markets in Massachusetts. So Massachusetts residents are going to have to go to other states to get their menthol cigarettes. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, especially in our state, which is, probably one of the most liberal states in the union. But we seem to be having a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, they're only liberal when they want to be liberal. As I said a long time ago, CJ, people are liberal about what they want, conservative about what they have, and moderate about what they don't give a crap about. So that's the definition of these people, of those labels.
I hear you there. That's for sure.
So I'm black screen again. I don't know.
No, I can see you fine. Don't worry about it. You've been in and out, and that's okay. We can still hear you. We're out of time. We got to go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay angry, and we'll see you on Monday.